Hi everybody, it's Doreen and I'm back to show the little mini album that I made for my husband for his 55th birthday. And this is what it looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to let you know what cartridges I use to put inside my little mini album. And I designed everything using my Gypsy. And I'm just going to go over the cartridges that I used and the sizes. I won't go over what page number and so forth. If someone's interested in that, you can let me know and I'll tell you what page it was on in each one of the handbooks. So I used the Alphalicious cartridge, the Sweetheart cartridge, the My Community cartridge, and the Sweet Treats cartridge. And I also believe I used the Christmas Cheer cartridge as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. First of all, my book measures 3 1/4 inches, and I cut the pages themselves out using the Cursive 101 cartridge at 3 1/4 inches, and I cut my layers of my paper, as well as I took some cereal box that I had to use for cardboard and cut that out using my deep cut blade. And the paper that I used to do the book came out of, because I wanted to match the card that I made him. It came out of this Paper Studio Celebrations pack. And these are the papers that are in that pack. So, and I also used some paper from this stack of paper that I picked up at Target in the dollar spot. So, let's get started. My first page is using that Paper Studio cardstock, and I cut out the number 55 again as I did on the card, and it was cut from the Sweet Treats cartridge at 2 inches. The next page I cut out, and this book that I made represents some of the things about my husband, and I wanted to do something special for him for his birthday. So, he loves coffee, so I cut out this coffee cup, and this is from the Gypsy Wanderings cartridge, and actually that's came with your Gypsy, so that would be the only way you would be able to get it. And it is cut at 2 inches as well. And then I took and stamped, "I don't do mornings until I've had my coffee." And that is so true, because he's not very coherent until he's had at least 2 cups of coffee in the morning. Then I also took and cut out these little swirls, and these are from the Christmas tree cartridge. And if you watch my Christmas cards with the Cricut series, I also use the same swirls when I made some tags. And these were cut at 2 inches as well. And what I did was, because I was cutting out so many different things to put in this little mini album, and I didn't want to keep cutting different pieces of paper or putting different pieces of paper on my mat for each thing, I just cut everything out using white cardstock. And then I took my Tim Holtz Distress ink, and the colors that I used were the Dusty Concord, the Peeled Paint, the Fire Brick, and I also did all of my edges with the Vintage Photo. And then I also took some of my Stampin' Up! Ink pads, the Pink Passion and the Mellow Moss, and I just colored everything after I had it cut. That way I wouldn't have to keep putting little small sheets of paper in to cut each thing that I was using. So let's move on. The coffee is cut from my kitchen, and it was cut at 3 inches, and I popped it up using some foam tape, and I also popped up the coffee cup using foam tape. Okay, my next page is I took and I cut out this little tag, and I stamped it with his birth date, which is February 12th, and I stamped also this cupcake, and this is from a set, I think it's from Inkadinkadoo, but I'm not positive because I didn't keep the label. But I think that's what it is, because that's where I get a lot of my stamps are Inkadinkadoo. So once I stamped it, I took some of my Yasutomo paints and colored it in to make it shiny. I don't know if the camera will pick that up. And then on the top here, I wanted to look like a bite was taken out of the cupcake, so I kind of just stamped it very lightly on the edge. And then I used some more of the Yasutomo paints. And then on the back, I just took and I used a little small journal stamp that I got in the dollar bin. I think it's a Studio G. And I stamped it on the back with just a little personal message to my husband. And I stuck a candle on there. And then what I did was I took my Martha Stewart Iron Gate punch and stamped in white, and then I distressed it with the peel paint just to make like a little border to stick the tag in. So now my next page, I've cut out May All Your Wishes Come True, and this is cut from the Sweet Treat cartridge at 2 inches. Okay, so my next page is, and I love this, I use what are called Wobbles. Let me see if I can find one. And they look like this, and what you do is, this is the base, so you would peel this off and put this on the base of whatever it is that you want to wobble, and then you go ahead and you peel this part to put on the top. So what happens is, once you put it on, it wobbles. I just love these things. They're so cute. So anyway, my heart is cut from the Sweet Treat cartridge, and it is cut at 2 inches. And I also took this and distressed it with some of my Dusty Concord and the Fire Brick Red. And then I just left one, I cut a shadow and left that white. And then I took my Tim Holtz pokey tool and punched out each one of the scallops. And then on top I added an embellishment pop-up heart. This page I decided to leave as is because it had a little glitter and it just had some hearts on it, and I liked the way that looked, so I left that one alone and didn't add anything to it. Okay, my next page, I cut out the Ready, Set, Blow again, and that's from the Sweet Treat cartridge, and it was cut at 2 inches. And then I cut out the 55 to represent his age again, and that is cut at 1.5 by 2, and I kind of squeezed that in. When I did this on my Gypsy, I took the automatic width and height off and kind of just fit it to make it look the way I want it. And then I added some cotton candy stickles for the flames after I distressed the white cardstock with the Pink Passion. Okay, so now for my next page, my husband likes to read books on stocks and bonds, so I added a book, and this is cut at 2 inches from the My Community cartridge, And then I spelled out the words stocks and bonds, and that's from the Alphalicious cartridge, and it was cut at 0.91, and I did that on the Gypsy as well. Now, my happy birthday is cut from the Sweet Treats cartridge, and it was cut at 2 inches. And then the computer is actually from the Cursive 101, and it actually comes as the complete sheet, and then the computer is in the corner. So what I did was, when I cut this out, I just hid the page, and then it only cut out the computer. And I used that hide contour feature that's on your Gypsy. And that was cut at 3 1/4. The next page I have, that takes the cake. And this was cut from the Sweet Treat cartridge at 2 1/2 inches. And then I distressed it with the peeled paint. And then on this page here, I just took a cake embellishment that I had and popped it up on some foam dots and added that onto this page. And then on this page, I just took a stamp that I picked up in the dollar bin at Michael's, and it says, "Days are brighter with you in them." And then on this last page here, I decided to leave this one blank because I like the cupcakes and how they shined and glistened. And then on the back, I used the same paper as the front that just says, "Happy Birthday to You." Now, once I got it all embellished and together, and oh, as I put my paper on the front and the back of the cardstock or the cereal box that I cut out, I made sure that I used my ATG gun to adhere each piece on, and then I took my tool that I use for sanding and I brushed down and sanded the edges. And then I went ahead and inked the edges with the vintage photo. And as you can see, each page punches out or cuts out a little tiny hole, and I had to take and widen the hole. And then I ran some ribbon and laced it through for each page. And then at the bottom here, I added this little charm, or this is actually, I picked this up at Target the day after Christmas. It was ornaments, and I bought several of them, and I got the idea from Yoli Bean, is her YouTube channel. And I just took mine and ran some ribbon around it and then put a couple buttons in the middle. So this is my mini album that I made for my husband's 55th birthday. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.